send the recording out to everybody at the end. And if you're registered, I will send this recording out. If you're watching the replay, yeah, feel free to send me any questions you have. If you want to set up some time to meet with me to talk specifically about your LinkedIn page, we can do that as well. You can always email me. I'll pop my email into the chat at some point when I get a chance. Cynthia popped her link in. Leanne popped her link in. Yay, this is great. This is a good number to go through. Cool, cool, cool. Hi, Amanda. Good to see you off camera. That's cool. Yeah, like I said, off camera or on, doesn't matter to me. I'll start sharing my screen in a second and we'll get rolling. So glad to see everybody. Glad everybody's here. So this is the first time I'm doing this, if you're not aware. I may do it again as long as there's energy for it. So I may make it kind of a monthly thing. So if you ever want to stop by again in the future, that might be interesting. If you make some changes to your profile, for example, and you want to bring it back and show me next time, that's always cool. So I do anticipate doing this again. So glad to see everybody. Cool. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, I think you all have sharing permission as well. But actually, no, you won't need to do that. I'm going to pop into your LinkedIn. So I'll be doing everything on my screen. I think that'll work. So let me share that. Sorry, here's a messy screen. I'm going to go to my LinkedIn page. So again, if you're not logged into your own LinkedIn page, you could do that first as a first step, because the first thing we're going to do is start doing a little self-diagnostic on your LinkedIn page. Can you all see my screen? Looks good? Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, so what I recommend in terms of diagnostics is first to consider your goals. So what is it that you really want to do with your LinkedIn page? Do you want to capture leads? Do you want to use it to increase relationships you have with people or nurture relationships, business relationships that you have? Really think about those goals. And I always tell people that LinkedIn is really a networking platform. So it works best if your goals are aligned with networking type goals. So you can kind of think of it as a 24/7 networking event. So if you were going to go to an in-person networking event, you'd come into that event with some goals in mind. Like, there's going to be people there who you want to meet. You're looking to meet specific people, maybe. You're looking to, set up some coffee dates with one-on-ones with people, that kind of thing. Whatever that goal is, you also want to include that. You want to be thinking about that in terms of LinkedIn as well. So if there are specific people you're trying to meet, you can use the search box and you can find those people that you're trying to meet. Sales Navigator is also a good way to really hone in on who your ideal client is and the people that you're really trying to meet. I don't have Sales Navigator personally. I'm still using the free version of LinkedIn and it works really well for me. But it really depends on your industry, and I can answer specific questions about that later on. So first, come up with your goal for LinkedIn and what you're thinking. Then you're going to want to take a look at your dashboard. I always recommend that you're tracking your metrics weekly. And I'll tell you which metrics I pay attention to. So I look at my follower count. I like to see that on a steady incline. Mine's ranging around like 30 to 50 per week that I'm adding to my follower count. Connections also, so the difference between followers and connections can see your stuff and you can see their stuff. It goes both directions. So I always recommend connecting with people over following them. Followers only see your stuff. You can't see theirs. And so, I recommend connections because I like to have a closer relationship with people. But it's up to you. Sorry, these messages keep coming up. But it's totally up to you. Like, again, what are your goals and what are you trying to do? If you're trying to build a huge following, you're trying to really get those numbers up, then that might be a good way to do it. So to default to followers, you have to have creator mode turned on. So you can see I have creator mode turned on. So when people see me and they want to connect with me, the first option for them is following. so a lot of people, so people who have creator mode turned on, that'll be the case for them. Following will be their the first option for you. But you can always go to more and you can connect with them. And LinkedIn will give you a message like, do you really want to connect with this person? But don't be afraid of that. Like you hit the connect button. You can send a note if you want. You don't have to. If you're trying to get those numbers up, I say just send a lot of notes. It doesn't really matter if whether people accept or not, as long as you're getting the volume you need to get that number where you're trying to be. So you can set a number goal for your set of followers and do the math and figure out how many connections you need to be sending a day. I usually recommend sending 5 to 10 per day to kind of grow, get your audience into a good growth place. So that's the first thing. Look at your number of followers, number of connections. To see the real number of connections, you have to go to your network, and this will show you the exact number of connections at the top there, 6,500 for me. So you can see my follower count and my connection count is pretty similar. Back to my profile. LinkedIn is a little slow. Then the other metrics that I keep track of are down here in your dashboard where it says analytics. So it should be just below your picture there in your profile. And I look at profile views and I look at search appearances. So profile views tells you how many people have gone and looked at your profile in a week. So these are all updated weekly on a weekly basis. So I recommend picking 1 day a week and looking at those numbers, writing them down. I keep track of them in my Notion board, on my Notion board. Look at these numbers and keep track of them every week. So it updates on the day of the week that you joined LinkedIn, which is really random. I think mine updates on a Thursday. So I must have joined LinkedIn on a Thursday. You don't have to know that. What you have to do is make sure you check on the same day every week so that you're getting good numbers. You're getting updated numbers. So profile views, number of people who look at your profile. Search appearances is a really good one. So when people pop into the search box and look for ghostwriter, they're going to come across me. So that's where you're getting the search appearances numbers. So you want to consider with your headline what keywords you want people to be searching for when they find you. So that's a really important thing. And the keyword should be pretty close to the front of your LinkedIn profile, or your headline, sorry. So that's where you're really going to be looking to up that number of search appearances, the search appearance number. Okay, I'll pause there. So questions about all of this, any of this? So these are really the basics of what to look for in your profile. One other thing that I want to show you is this, which is called the Social Selling Index. If you've never taken a look at the Social Selling Index, it's a really good thing to check out. I don't check it once a week, but you could check it once a week. For me, it doesn't change that frequently. So I check it about once a month. Let me pop this link into the chat. Figure out how to stop my screen for a second. This link, if you're logged into your LinkedIn, this link will take you directly to your Social Selling Index number. And so you can take a look. It'll tell you where you are within your own industry. It's a really nice way to see, where you are relative to everyone else. You can get some pretty good data here, and you can really start digging in and figuring out how you can raise your profile, raise your presence on LinkedIn using the Social Selling Index. Cool. So that's basically, what I wanted to say at the outset here. The main reason we're here is to look at your LinkedIn profiles and get some thoughts going about those and give you my ideas. So let me stop sharing my screen here and start going through profiles. Any other questions about anything? Any questions at the outset?
Who was that?
Sorry?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Great. All right. So let me start with Lisa. There we go. Pulling up your page here. Share my screen again. Everybody can see. There we go. Cool. Okay, so we've got Pharmacy Profit Maker. You can see that Lisa, it does have the LinkedIn Premium. That's what this little guy says to everybody. This little yellow box here. So Pharmacy Profit Maker, I think the headline sounds good. This is a really good keyword. Another thing that I wanted to point out was how to search keywords, search for keywords. So you can search using using hashtags so that you can get a sense of how many people are following certain hashtags. So let's try pharmacy. And the way to do it is not to hit return on your computer once you type it in, but to use your cursor and hit the button there. And it'll show you, okay, 72,000 people are following hashtag pharmacy. So if you're comparing words that you want to add to your headline, that's a really good way to do it. So, you could throw a different word in and see what the numbers look like. But pharmacy looks like a pretty good one to me. If my stuff is reaching 72,000 people, I'm happy. So that looks pretty good for Lisa in particular. She's got speaker, author, Pharmacy Profit Summit. That all looks good. 5,000 followers. Cool. That's a good number. Let's see. Activity. She posted, looks like you posted 6 minutes ago. That's always good. Like the more you post, right? People are looking to see if you're active on LinkedIn before they connect with you often. So that's a good thing. They might go straight to your activity and see what's going on. And then the other thing to look at is your about section. So let's take a look at that. It looks really good. It's really well filled out. She's got bullet points in here. That looks awesome. You get, I think, 3,000 characters in the about section. So, you want to use that. That's really valuable real estate. The first place people go when they get to your page is to look at your about section. So, some people will have like one paragraph, but this is good. This is really filled out. And she's also got it in first person. So that's another really important thing. A lot of people will have kind of like their resume and their about section, like Lisa Foss does blah, 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 right? And it's better to make it personal. You're talking to your audience directly through LinkedIn. So that's a good thing to point out.
And I will note that I haven't updated that in like 3 years.
Oh, okay. Well, then there's something to do.
No, this is fantastic because I totally like never look at that section. So I was like, oh, shoot, that is really old.
Yes. Okay, good. Well, then there's the first order of business. Maybe update the about section.
Yes, absolutely.
That's good. Yeah, I update mine about, I would say, like twice a year, every 6 months. You could update it every quarter if you're in a place with your business or with your career where things are in flux. You want it to be pretty accurate, so that when people find you, they know, oh, this is what she does today, not like three months ago or 5 months ago, if that changes.
Or 3 years, yeah.
Or 3 years. Totally. Yeah, that's great. Did you have questions about your page in particular, Lisa?
No, not really. Just
Okay.
it's nice to, well, you've already found something that, just kind of get those outside eyes on of, what the heck we're doing. Because certainly LinkedIn is important for me and connecting with people in my industry, both on a kind of B2C and B2B level. So
right. Yeah, that's awesome. How do you feel about like your profile views and your search appearances? Would you like to see
I'm actually more impressed at myself after listening to you because I had no idea those were weekly numbers.
Oh, yes.
And so, looking at there, I had 1,129 profile views, and I thought that was maybe like the last month or, like I didn't honestly know the time frame at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, that's pretty good.
That's really good. Yeah.
And then I had just under 11,000 post impressions and then 162 search appearances. So I was like, oh, if those are weekly numbers, like, that's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, those are weekly numbers. Yeah. So that looks really good to me. I think you're in a really good place. You can also see that she has creator mode turned on because she has her hashtags here. That's one advantage of using creator mode. You can add your hashtags to your profile. And again, so she's going to be a person who's going to show followers as a default for people who are coming to her profile. But yeah, this looks great, Lisa. Awesome. Okay, so let me check back and go to the next minute. Here's Minette's page. I like this cover. It's very, simple. It's clear, inspiring, boldly inclusive leaders. I really like that, and it matches her picture. It looks very, very good. Let's see, building a movement of boldly inclusive leaders. Yeah. Okay. So for this one, I would recommend adding some keywords at the beginning if you can. So maybe you could switch leadership consultant with building a movement of boldly inclusive leaders. I like that as a kind of a tagline, and that's great. But when people are searching, different hashtags, they may not come across your profile as quickly if they're searching for leadership, for example. You may not show up as quickly because of that, or in as many places as other people. So I might recommend doing that, or doing some keyword searches to see what else pops up. So for example, let's just compare leadership. Leadership will probably be a big one. Yep, you can see 3,262,807. That's a huge one. So having leadership at the beginning is probably going to be a good move. But I'm curious about consultant. Let's try leadership consultant. Not even coming up. I already spelled it wrong. Yeah. There we go. 20. Okay, so leadership consultant, not that great. What about just consultant? $17,441. Yeah, so I definitely would recommend starting out with leadership at the beginning of this headline. I do think that's going to be. There we go. Yeah, I do think that's going to be the right move. Leadership consultant, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like it's only noticing those two words together. It will pick up on just leadership. So you could definitely, I would make that switch between just put leadership consultant first, right before building a movement of boldly inclusive leaders. And then watch your search appearances numbers. And if it goes up, then you've probably made the right move by switching that based on SEO stuff. We can see Minette also has creator mode turned on. She's got 8,000 followers. That's a really good number. What I'm seeing in the right from here is things look really good. So let's look at activity 6 days ago, a week ago. She's posting about once a week. That's looking good. The about section. I generally recommend to clients that if you can post 3 days a week, that's a really good sort of benchmark. You don't need to be posting every single day. Your numbers will go up if you move from posting once a week to posting 3 times a week. So if you have the time to add that into your schedule, that's a good move to make as well. About section. I like this beginning. It's very, it's conversational. I like about sections that are conversational. It really pulls people in and gets them asking questions in their minds about you and wanting to read more. I like that. Again, she's in the first person, so that's looking good. She's got upcoming books. That's interesting. I like to read about that. If you're leading teams, please reach out. That's great. So I would say you could add, of course, to your about section. You could embellish a bit on this because, again, you would get 3,000 characters, which is about 500 words, I think, for your about section. So again, really valuable real estate to be using. Let me pause. Minette, do you have questions about your profile?
Yeah, that's actually so helpful. I was actually curious. I had shortened my about section because I thought it was too long. So I wanted to ask your advice on that.
Yeah. So, I think about sections are things that people look at by choice. So I don't think they're going to be like, wall of text, So I always tell people, that, like I said, it's valuable real estate. So the more you can say about yourself there, the better. It's a really good place to highlight client stories or case studies, like mini case studies. So if you have like client examples to add or client success stories, that could be a really good way to help beef it up. I like the idea of talking about what's on the horizon, like upcoming books, or I'm giving these talks, that kind of thing, just to give people a sense of, you know, everything about you that might be curious about, especially as a keynote speaker. You know, you could add in speaking topics. That would be a really good thing to include as well, because people may be looking for speakers. This is another good keyword to search. Let's see what speaker does. 10,000. So not a ton, but you know, if people are looking for speakers, you know, they're obviously going to be searching that. So it could be a really good. You may even want to move speaker up in your headline a little bit, but I would play around with different headline options and watch that search appearance number and see if you can get that number up.
Thanks, that's really helpful.
Good, yeah, super good. Okay, cool. Let me see who's next. Matthew, okay. Conscious coaching. There's Matthew. Good leader guide. Is that a freebie that you have, Matthew? Or is it?
No, but I've realised that it looks like I'm offering a guide. It's not, it's what I am.
It's what you are. Oh, I see, a good leader guide. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, cool.
Doesn't come across properly.
No, it comes across as a physical guide. Yeah, you're right. So that's something to consider. How else could we say that? A guide for good leaders, maybe. Yeah, I would play with that. I would play with that phrase. Yeah, but that's good. Book a free hour-long chat about what's next for you. Explore how I can help you get you there, experience some real coaching straight away on the house. Okay, that's cool. Do you have a link under your contact for how people can book that free call?
Yeah, it's on that page you're looking at. Let's have a chat, book a call.
Okay, is it here?
Yep.
Okay.
It's also on the page itself.
On the page itself. Okay, great. Under your about section?
No,
Oh,
right,
let's have a call. Yeah, there it is. I see. Okay, I forgot about this piece there. LinkedIn added this a few months ago, that you could add a link in here. So yeah, that's great. So let's have a chat, book a call. Perfect. You also have creator mode turned on, 852 followers. So you want to be focusing on getting those numbers up, I would say. I think you're going to see if you're...
I only turned creator mode on in the 3rd week of August.
Okay, yeah. Have you noticed a difference in your post views and things after doing that? Definitely. So here are some hints about creator mode. If you have creator mode turned on, you want to be using your hashtags in every post. You don't have to use all of them, but using at least one of those hashtags in your posts. And that's going to help you get back. The other thing to do with creator mode is to feature posts. So about once a week, you want to be featuring one of your posts. And to do that, you know, every post itself has 3 dots here. And I probably won't be, I won't be able to do it for him. But if you're on your own LinkedIn page and you go to a post that you've created, you'll see in here, it'll feature the post will be one of the options. So that's how you feature a post. And you want to do that about once a week. If you are posting, you know, about 3 times a week, pick one of your favorite posts and feature it each week. And that will also boost you when you're in creator mode.
Okay.
So that's a tip there. Use the hashtags and make sure to feature some of your posts. Let's look at your about section. Also looks like a good length, filled out really well. You're using first person, that's great. You might want to include bullet points with your services, specific services you have offered.
Okay.
People are often skimming for that when they're looking at a profile page. But this looks good from a glance. Do you have specific questions about your page?
No, I'm just listening. I'm taking it all in. It's good.
Great. Good. I'm glad. Yeah. I think it looks really good. Let's look at your headline. I didn't look at your headline very closely. Becoming outstanding leader effortlessly, leadership and senior executive development, discovering life on the far side of ego. Ooh, I like that. I like that last line. The other thing I like to tell people is when you comment on someone else's post, they only see the first 60 or so characters, 60 not or so, 60 characters in your headline. So if you can make those first 60 a complete thought, that's a good idea. So people will see after your name on a post that you've commented on, you know, maybe they would see becoming an outstanding leader effortlessly, and they know immediately what you do. So that's kind of nice, you know, so consider those first 60 characters, trying to keep them into a sort of a complete thought.
I have one question. I've only just made this change. I changed my name so
Oh,
that what I do is actually in my name.
yes, like right here, right.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I recommend doing that. Mine says Emily Crookston Ghostwriter. I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I do recommend doing that. That's not a bad idea. So Minette could say her name plus leadership coach or leadership consultant rather.
Will that come up in the various searches though?
Yes, I think the keyword itself will show up. Yes. So this is also a good spot for SEO stuff. Yeah. So that's a good point. And more importantly than that, I like it because it associates your name with what you do. So when people see Emily Crookston, they automatically see Ghostwriter right after it. And it's nice. If you have an easy 1 or 2 word title, it works really well. If you don't, then it may not be a good idea. But I recommend doing that because people start associating your name with what you do. Yep.
I'm going to change that now to just say good leadership.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, or yeah, good leadership. Leadership coach would be okay.
I'm trying to avoid at this point using the word coach, and the reason for
Okay.
that is that the research that I've done is A, most people don't know what a coach does,
Mhm.
and B, if they do, they've got the wrong idea.
That's probably right. Yeah. So then stay away from coach. Yeah, I would agree. You know, I prefer consultant also. Like I didn't call this hot seat coaching. I could have called it hot seat coaching, but I agree that word can be confusing in some cases. Yeah, cool. Okay, that looks good.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah, of course. Next. Leanne. Hi, Leanne.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I hope this is helpful. I really like doing it, so it's fun for me.
I
but
already
hope
have a
it's-
ton of notes and you haven't even talked about mine.
Cool. I'm glad. Let me share that screen. There we go. There's Leanne's. Leanne is a designer. I really love her logo and all of that there. That looks really good. I like this cover, very clear and pretty, and it matches your background in your photo. That's nice. Cool. Okay, so she has immersive graphic design for thought leaders looking to make ripples of impact with their expertise. Okay, that's great. It's a little bit wordy for a headline or a tagline rather. I might try shortening it, playing around with some different things, but what I would definitely do is try to get graphic design. I would put graphic designer right out front. So you could add that, like Matthew was saying, you could add that with your name, graphic designer. But also you could keep it in the headline just because that's what people are going to be searching for when they find you. That's a pretty obvious keyword for you. You can see Leanne doesn't have creator mode turned on because she doesn't have the hashtags here under her name. So that
I do
means...
have it turned on. I just don't have hashtags.
Oh, okay. Trick me. Okay, got it. Okay, well then I would recommend adding hashtags for sure.
Yep.
Because then you can add them to your posts, like I said, and that will boost your posts.
Yeah.
That's what the algorithm likes when you have creator mode turned on. So that's one good tip. Cool. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so I would add some more keywords to the headline. You've got more space with that headline. The headline character limit is, I think, 300 characters. I should link to something with all the character limits. I have something somewhere. I just have to pull it up. Cool. And then let's look at activities. 4 hours ago you posted. That's great. Looks like you're posting pretty consistently and regularly. That's what we like to see. Your about section. Okay. Yeah. I like this. So you're sort of saying to people, you may have the words down, but you don't have the graphics. And here's how that's hurting you. I like that. I love this. I'm Leanne. That's great. First person, very conversational, just like you would meet at a networking event, right? That's how it feels. And I really think that's the right move. Here's how I can help. Her 3 different services there. That's great. Yeah, this looks really good. So you've got space. Obviously, you could add more words if you wanted to. I might consider making it clearer from the very get-go what you do. So saying, starting with something about graphic design, starting with how you're different as a graphic designer, like your philosophy of graphic design, I would say could be a nice way to start. This really grabs you and pulls you in, but I worry that people skimming might be like, but what does she do? And then they finally get to your services. So maybe just talking about graphic design somewhere up here. You do have it there, but maybe even closer to the top, just because people skim these things. That's the other thing about, reason that I say, go ahead and use all the real estate there. Come to as close to 3,000 characters as you can, because people are skimming and you never know what they're picking up on. Make it very skimmable, but make it, feel free to make it as long as it feels right to do. Experience, good. Do you have recommendations? I haven't been talking about recommendations. Yeah, you do. Okay, that's great. Good. Yeah. So recommendations are another good way to beef up your profile. That's another place where people are going to jump to read if they're interested in working with you, for sure. So that's always great. Feel free. It's really easy to put a recommendation on LinkedIn for people who are giving you recommendations. It's in a lot of ways easier than doing a testimonial, because it kind of prompts you with what to say. So I think that's a really good place for anybody to work on beefing up their profile, getting some more recommendations. Do you have specific questions, Leanne?
I think that you answered them. I was kind of wondering about the tagline part, like how much stuff should be in there. And I see that a lot of people have a lot of stuff in there, like a lot of keywords and
right.
I don't know, kind of like not redundancy, but like covering all their bases to make sure that they're coming up for all of that. So
that's why they do it. It's because of SEO. It's not because it's readable. That is the challenge. I like the combination of having some SEO words, but also having a kind of headline, tagline, kind of at the end or whatever. So you could just add some keywords in at the beginning. I think, and you'd be in good shape. But I like it. It fits your personality. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. It's very helpful.
Good. Cool. Let's see who's next on the list. We're moving right along. This is great. Cynthia. Okie dokie. Hey, Cynthia. Good to see you. Word nerd. I love it. Very good. Ooh, I like this. I like this cover. I think that looks really smart. I love this signature. That's very unique. It just jumps out at me. And I think your picture looks great. Everybody's like top graphics are looking really good, which is great to see. Like I haven't come across any of the gray covers yet. That makes me feel good, because that's one big thing to change if you haven't updated that cover yet. Okay, so Cynthia doesn't have creator mode turned on, correct? I think that's correct. And
I have a note that I need to do that now.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a good question. So, creator mode, I think, is useful if it makes sense to have some hashtags, and if you want to be including those in your posts and that kind of thing. And if you want to default to followers. So, it doesn't really matter to me whether people connect or follow me. But it matters more when I'm reaching out and connecting with people that we are connected. I'm not just following them. So, you just kind of think about the relationships you want to have with people. Creator mode, people think, oh, it's just for creators or something, but it's really not. There's all kinds of people using creator mode. And it really is, I think, because the algorithm does like it if you do these things. It's almost more predictable if you're using creator mode than not. So yeah, I do recommend trying it out and seeing what happens at least. I'm a big proponent of experimentation. So if you ever wonder, will this work? Go ahead and try it. It's not going to ruin your life if it doesn't work. You can just go back. You can shut it off. I know people who turn creator mode on and turn it off, months at different months of the year. Just, I don't know why, just because they're curious about what it does. So yeah, I would say experiment with it. You can obviously add to your headline here. You should have in there author for sure. You should have in there speaker, I would think. That kind of thing. It depends again on your goals though. If you're really just trying to sell that you're a writing coach on LinkedIn, then yeah, keep that one up front for sure. And it may even make sense to move that in front of the word nerd, again, for SEO reasons. There's not going to be anybody under the hashtag word nerd, but it's fun and it's cool to see that. I would just put it closer to the end of the headline than in the beginning. Let's see. Yeah, so you've got lots of real estate. You could definitely add there. You could even include a catchy little headline if you have one, or a line from your book even. That could be great if you have kind of a catchphrase you like to use or something like that. I would go ahead.
Have a good one, okay?
Cool. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's see. Let's look at your about section. Yeah, I can tell you're a writer. Well written, it sings. Then there's the life coaching stuff. Do you want, yeah, so this really comes down to your goals here. What do you want LinkedIn to do for you? Do you have an idea?
Well, just with the latest development in my life, and getting that book contract
Yeah, right,
from a
right.
publishing company,
Yeah.
I'm thinking I probably need to really change this and connect more as an author.
Yeah, I
and
think
speaker.
that's right. Yeah. So again, it just depends. If you're looking for leads for writing coaching or you're looking for leads for life coaching, then that's what should be up in the headline for sure. But if it's more, you want to use this as an outlet to start promoting your books, and you want to use it to announce your book launches and things like that, and attract maybe more publishers down the road, then I would really lean into the author side of things.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, that just happened. And so
Right.
I was kind of positioning myself for where I wanted to be. And then I'm like, oh, okay, maybe
And now
that's
you're
not
in a
the
different,
direction. So,
that's what happens. Yep. And that's when it's time to update everything on the LinkedIn.
So it's good to know though, like you're like, I mean, you said without saying it, you said you basically can't break LinkedIn, just be experimental, just try it, see what works, what doesn't. And so,
Definitely.
but yeah, I feel like this is a little chunky now that I've seen others with the bullet points and, just kind of sections. Yeah.
It makes it more readable for sure. So when I'm writing for LinkedIn, I'm always kind of thinking in line of, somebody's skimming this, somebody's reading over it quickly. What do I want them to see? What do I want
Right.
to jump out, and making that happen.
Okay.
So, great.
Good.
Yeah, this looks really good. Do you have any other questions?
I don't think so. I'm not so sure that I clearly understand what I'm looking at. When you were looking at the social selling index.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that really only applies for businesses, I would say.
Okay.
If you're not really trying to use LinkedIn to sell, that's a good point. If you're not trying to use LinkedIn to sell or promote services, it matters a lot less. Once you start using it as an author, it might be interesting to start watching this and seeing how you're doing relative to other people in your industry.
Okay, so on yours, it's saying that you are in the top 1% of people with the title of ghostwriter?
Not ghostwriter. I think
Okay.
it's writing and editing.
Okay,
industry.
all right.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think at one point it had a list of your industry titles, but I guess now it's just
Okay.
in your industry. But yeah, you'll see that in this.
Yeah, I just want to explore that a little more because I just, yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed. So
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I didn't know it existed until
Yeah.
about a year ago either. So yeah. Like I said, it's something to watch over time and see how it changes.
Right.
Yeah, and then it shows you these components here, like how you're being viewed by others in your audience.
Mhm.
So that's another piece to kind of look at.
Okay.
Yeah, explore it. See.
Well, thank you. I think we're all going to walk away with homework, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of the point, right?
Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, of course. I should say welcome to people who come in a little bit late. Good to see all of you. Go ahead if you like and pop your LinkedIn profile link into the chat, and I'm going through them systematically. So I am working on Amanda's next. Oh, and she's actually the last one that's in there now. So if anybody who joined late wants me to take a look, I should have time. Hi, Amanda. Let me get yours up
Yeah,
here.
thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course. It's fun for me. Okay, there you are. Ooh, I like the cover. I don't think I haven't looked at your profile in a while. So this is, I've been connected to Amanda for a while, and I'm often commenting on her posts, and she comments on mine, but I don't often go to the profile. Oh, this is something else I could mention. So Amanda's got her name here in her URL. You can change your URL and make it customized. So if you haven't done that, you probably have a string of numbers after your name, but you can actually go in and get rid of those numbers. It just looks neater. There's not really, as far as I can tell, a big benefit to doing it. It may make it easier for people to find you when they're just connected with you and trying to search for your name. But that's something
and
to consider.
it's also easier to give people your direct
Yeah.
LinkedIn
That's true.
profile.
That's true. If you're trying to cut and paste the link, it's easier without all those numbers. That's a good point. Cool. Okay, so Amanda, I know you've been working very hard on your LinkedIn, so I like the headline. It looks really good. Good things come to those who journal. I don't know if it would help to jigger things around and get journaling right in the front there, but that might be something to play with. And again, watch your search appearance numbers. That's something that might up those numbers. So you've got coaching, custom journaling plans, journaling workshops. That's great. I help you journal your way to a life you don't want a vacation from. Yeah, I love that line. That's really good. You may even want to have this line in your cover, just because it's so catchy.
Yeah.
I really like that. But you're promoting a specific service or a specific product, I guess, right now up there. So, that's another good point. This cover can be revolving. It could be whatever you're promoting in the moment so that it's right there when people come to your page. You've also got your website link here, which is great. That's a good thing to include in the cover, even though it's easy to get to here and here, but not a bad thing because people look in all different places. They're not always looking for it in these places when they're looking for your website. So that's good. She's got her hashtags here. You could add some more hashtags. I think you can have up to 5. If there are any others that might be relevant, you could do that. And again, make sure you're using those hashtags in your posts and featuring your posts occasionally, at least once a week if you can. Because I know you're posting pretty much every day. So definitely be featuring once a week. It's a good thing. Let's look at the about section. Yep. Right up front that she does journaling coaching. Yep. It's in first person again. Everybody's hitting a home run there. What does this look like? I like these little carrot things, anything to draw attention. So LinkedIn is a little challenging when it comes to formatting, right? You can't just bold things and you can't create headlines or subheadings, that kind of thing. There's always little ways like this that you can use to highlight things that are coming, that you want people's eyes to be drawn to. So that's good. Better You, Better Business, journal workshops. Awesome. Awesome. You don't have your new one in here, right? Yeah.
No, I was just thinking I need to rework it and make that swap.
Not a bad idea. Like you could even have just a section of your about that's kind of revolving for the different services that you offer, since they change kind of monthly or on a three-month basis, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Let's see. Recommendations, great, you've got 8 there, that's good. Yeah, any specific questions? This is looking really good to me.
Nope, this was just helpful. Thank you for giving it an eyeball.
Yeah, and I'll share my LinkedIn Cliff Notes. That has a lot of the stuff I talked about in the beginning,
Cool.
goes over some things more thoroughly. I'll share that link in a minute. Let's see, anyone else?
So just for a timeout, Amanda, I have subscribed to your newsletter and I'm getting your newsletters, but I don't think I've ever met you on LinkedIn. So, and it's like, oh wait, I've heard this, like the 2023 journaling thing. I'm a big journaler, and it's like, oh, okay. So very
Awesome.
cool.
No, thank you for
Yeah.
making that connection.
How did you find her newsletter? Do you know? Oh, that's interesting.
I'm not even sure. I don't know. I'm a sucker for journaling, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love that connection. Very cool. Okay. Okay. Latasha says she can't talk, but let me look at her profile. Making good time. I think we'll be able to get to everybody. So that's great. So if you haven't popped your link in there, go ahead and do so. Make sure I get to everybody. Here's Latasha's. Okay, so she's been on covers of magazines. That's very cool. To me, the cover is a little bit busy. I love it. I love that you're highlighting all these different covers. It looks really cool. But I don't know if there's a way to present them a little bit differently so that it's not, I don't know, maybe some white space in there would help. But I mean, I don't know. That's a personal thing, and like the trade-off between having these amazing covers up there may not be worth like trying to mess with it. So I think it looks very interesting. It's really eye-catching. Latasha T, co-founder and CEO of BSM Media Group. Cool. Co-host, creator and host of Twins of Media Live. Awesome. Okay, so all of her stuff is here. So this may be a place where you want to play around with some SEO. What is it that you're trying to promote? What is it that you're trying to sell on LinkedIn, and play around with those SEO type words. So media may be a big one, for example, and you've got media right here. So the SEO may be picking up on that, but it may be even better if you had media consultant or media owner or something like that way in the front. So I might experiment and play around, and then again, watch that search appearances number to see if it changes at all based on the SEO that you're doing there. Just again, something to experiment with. Let's see, she's got creator mode turned on. She's got her hashtags there. Let's look at the about. Okay, so obviously she could add a lot to the about section. Again, that's, 3,000 characters is your limit there. So I would encourage you to expand on the about section as much as you can. Include the services that you're really thinking about promoting on LinkedIn. Who do you want to meet on LinkedIn? Think about what they're going to be looking for when they come to your profile. So, I know that you're the CEO of a media group. I'm not sure what that means for me, for example, if I'm coming to your profile. Do I, can you help me get published? Do you do any PR work? Do you have, are you looking for contributors to the magazine? What is it that you're trying to share and sell to people? What's Write Legacy 3? Writer services. Oh, okay, interesting. So there's some writer services involved. You want to definitely talk about those in the about section. Yeah, so I'd really like to hear some specifics about what that looks like. If it's industry articles, maybe you're a ghostwriter, do you create those articles, or do you help people with the PR side of things? That would be my question. And those are my assumptions that I'm making. And the challenge is you don't want people making assumptions. You want them to know. And then once you kind of get a handle on what that would look like, you're going to want to get some recommendations. So go back to previous clients and add some recommendations in here. I think that will help a lot. And, clearly you maybe you're kind of new to LinkedIn or you haven't been using it too much, but you're going to want to focus on growing that follower list, growing those connections, because that's how that's going to help you with the most growth the quickest. So I would recommend definitely connecting with 5 to 10 people a day, starting to become consistent, being on LinkedIn at least 3 times a week. Whatever you can do. If you can do 5 days a week, that's even better. But try to aim for that, and that's going to be the most helpful way for you to grow your profile. Hope that answered your questions. If you have specific questions, you can send me a message. You can send me an email. You can message me on LinkedIn or whatever works for you. But yeah, that's looking good. Oh, there she is. She did say she's a ghostwriter. Okay, so yeah, that should be in there somewhere in the about section in particular. Cool. She says she's taking notes. Haven't been on the cover. She's the owner, right? I got that once I started reading. So that's another thing to point out. When I see those magazine covers, that's the first thing I'm thinking. Oh, she's a model. She's on the cover of these magazines. So it's your magazine, but somehow if there's a way to make that clear from the cover, that might be really useful and something to consider. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, Phil says he's happy to connect with anybody on the call. That's always good. I like to see people connecting. Okay, looks like we've got Erica and Phil. Awesome. Leanne's asking, are you sure? Of course, Latasha. Yeah, Latasha. Leanne, yeah. Question here. Are you a proponent of accepting connections with people you don't know? Yes, if they look like people I'm interested in talking to and I don't know them, yes, I will absolutely connect with them. That's kind of an old school rule for LinkedIn, that you have to know the person. I don't know all my 7,000 followers or 6,000 connections at all. But if there are people who are interesting, or they look like they're in line with what I'm doing in some way, shape, or form, I want to connect with them. But I like to have more people in my network than you might want as well. Okay, Erica, let me jump in. Hi, Erica. Good to see you.
Yes, I think it's Elias Thorne. I don't know who Elias is. I do,
Yay.
but nonetheless,
Here we
we'll
go.
walk you guys around. Okay, actually, I think I can walk you this way. Let me just get a card. Everything okay today? Some water or anything?
Oh, somebody, I'm hearing some background noise. If you could mute yourself, that would be
What is that? Yes, I kind of, once you said that, I'm like, that must be a
all
beer.
right. Let's see.
Well,
Helping
not a beer
subject
drinker,
matter
right?
experts amplify their message online, creating websites that drive results, keeping business owners up to date on the online landscape.
Walk you around the long way.
Great. So, Erica, what I would say here is play around with some SEO and some keywords, and try to bring those out front. So I think you want websites somewhere out front. Maybe you just say CEO of Spring Insight, a web development and marketing company, or however you're calling it. I think that could be really useful. And then watch your search appearance number in your dashboard to see how those keywords do. I like the stars. I think that kind of fits with your brand. So that looks great. You can see she has creator mode turned on, 1,000 followers. Building up your followers is a good thing to focus on. Again, trying to connect with 5 to 10 people every day, or every day you're on LinkedIn, is a good plan. She's got her website and her phone number, everything right up front, which I really like, because it saves me from having to do an extra click. If I wanted to, I could call you up or text you. So that's nice. I like that. You could do that little drop down guy to add your website in here. It's under contact info. I have to see if I can remember how to do it. My page. Contact info. Let's see. Oh, that's going to take me to the website. Oh, maybe it's under here. There's a little pencil there on your profile. Yeah, I think it's down at the bottom here. You can add a link that will appear at the top of your profile. So I've added my website here. So again, you've got this little pencil to edit all of this. It also can help you add that little link in there. So that's one thing I would recommend for you, Erica, is to add that in there. So then people see, oh, website, click on it.
Good call.
Yeah, that's an easy little fix.
Yeah, totally. I can't believe we didn't do that actually.
Yeah, it's kind of a new feature, and I shouldn't say that everybody has that option. They may not. So LinkedIn, like when they roll out new features, they only roll out to some people. So I think I looked into doing it at one point and I didn't have access to it. So you may not, or you may not have the last time you looked at this.
Well, if you refresh, it's there now.
Okay, yay, good. Look at that, action taking. That's what I like. Oh, it's not there.
Oh,
Make sure you saved it. But also LinkedIn is kind of slow, so maybe a second. Make sure you're featuring posts about once a week because you do have creator mode turned on. Make sure you're using hashtags in your posts. Let's look at the about section. You could definitely add to this if you wanted to. Short and sweet is great, but again, you know, there's a lot of real estate here that people are looking at if they're searching for you and finding you. So not a bad idea to beef that up. Like I was telling somebody else, I'm not sure if it was before or after you hopped on, but if you have client success stories to share, you could share those in an about section, like little mini case studies or one, you know, even just one, I think would be great. And you've got your recommendations there. Yeah, this is looking good. I think I'm liking what I see. I like the branding at the top. Do you have any specific questions for me?
I think that, I mean, the area that I haven't looked at really recently is the about section. So any sort of particular advice you have there,
Okay.
would be much appreciated because that's definitely an area that I do need to look at.
Yep, I like the start. It grabs you, pulls you in. So I think maybe talking like I was saying before, talking about some client success stories would be good. Specialties include you can include here ways to contact you as well. You can include hashtags in your about section, just another way for SEO and the robots to find you. That would be good. But I would just kind of beef up the story a little bit. You could talk about your team if you wanted to. It's a good place to talk about any kinds of successes with Spring Insight.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think that would be great. Cool. You're welcome. Let's see. We're out at the top of the hour. If you have to hop off, feel free. I have a little extra time. Thanks, Amanda. Oh, she did hop off. Cool. Glad it was helpful. Yeah, great. Any other questions? I think I got to everybody. Did I get to everybody? Phil, did I do you?
No, you didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, sorry. I should
okay.
put my video on and be
No worries.
Be more social. I was just feeling like I didn't want to engage too much today.
Sure.
I don't know why.
You can always keep your camera off. That's okay with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I help founders think like angels and secure more investment. Angel think. Okay, cool. I like that. Executive chair, patient source LTD, startup advisor. Yeah. So I would recommend for your headline adding some SEO type words. So you could do some SEO research, something about investment probably should be in there. How do you describe what you do? Are you investment coaching, investment consulting?
I'm on the first line, a startup advisor.
Startup advisor. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Yes. Yeah, advisor. You may want to pull that out front. It's good to have those SEO words in the front if you can. I don't know how well startup. Let's see what startup looks like as a hashtag. Oh, $1 million. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so putting startup closer to the front might be a good move. So maybe swapping startup advisor, executive chair, and then go back to fundraiser, mentor, perhaps. I would play around with it and watch that number, watch the search appearance number. See how
Hmm.
that does.
Okay.
You
In that section, are
Yeah.
you limited in terms of how it looks? Are you limited to numbers of words or letters, or are you limited by lines?
number of words, characters, actually. It's
Yeah.
300 characters is the limit, I think.
So I can spread it over 3 lines if I want to.
Yeah,
or-
you could space it out. I like to use the little up and down line on the slash button on my computer
Yeah.
to divide it. Some people, I've seen dots. I don't exactly know how they get those bullets in there, but there are ways to separate things out so that it reads a little bit
Mhm.
easier. Yeah, I would recommend doing that. Yeah, that's a good point. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, just to make the eye a little easier on the eye. Good, your hashtags are there. You're using creator mode. Are you using those hashtags in your posts?
Quite a lot. Yeah.
Good. That's really good. Are you featuring posts about once a week?
I haven't done that
Okay.
as often as I should. Those features are probably 3 or 4 weeks old now. So
Okay.
just refresh me on how I change them, how I bring a fresh one in there.
Yeah, sure. So if you're in your post, one of your posts, I won't be able to do it for you, but with
No.
these 3 dots, there's a line that says feature at the
Yeah.
top of profile. You just hit that.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with this as well as I should either. But if you're posting a few days a week, you should be featuring one post a week when you have creator mode turned on. And as long as you're using your hashtags, then that will help with the algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good idea. I try to like rotate because I don't want too many features. I don't even know what the limit is, but it's a lot. It's like 10 or 20 probably. I try to keep about 6 in my featured, 5 or 6. So
Yeah.
I try to rotate them when I can.
And how can you change the order of what you featured? Because it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think you can. I think it's just the most recent that shows up.
Okay.
I could try to go to mine and see if I can move mine around. Let's see. Oh, nope, you can only do this.
Right.
Oh, hit the edit. Yeah, I don't know if you can move them up. No, I don't think you can. I think you can only remove them. They predict the order.
Right. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Back to you. Let's see. There we go. Let's look at your about section. Is good. So you could, if you wanted to, add some bullet points in with the services that you're offering, just to help the eye go to those things. You're in first person, which is great. Yeah, everybody was in first person. That's awesome. I see so many
If you
clients
put,
that-
so I've got a book for sale as
Uh-huh.
of yesterday.
Okay.
If you,
Yeah.
will it hyperlink from that to to Amazon or somewhere?
You could put that in here. So did you watch when I showed you how to get that link in here for Erica to get the website link? Here, let me show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go to let me show you again. You go to the pencil
Yeah.
and you can go down to the bottom and you can put any link you want in here.
Okay.
And that will show at the top. So you could put your Amazon link in there.
Yeah.
Oops, I didn't need to do that. And then it'll show up right here on your
And
profile.
can you have more than one link?
You could have more than one link in your contact info here,
Yeah.
but not on the profile itself.
Right.
You
Okay.
can only have one there. Yep. And you can put that link in your about section as well. It's just that it won't be hyperlink.
Yeah. Okay.
You could say, look for my book on Amazon or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. And with the title, the easiest way to find it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would recommend there. But yeah, I mean, you could even change your cover letter temporarily with cover not cover letter, with your book title, or a little,
Yeah.
if you have a nice graphic from the book, that could
Yeah.
that could be good. Mhm.
Well, I mean, that's all taken from the book cover, but I could put, I haven't given any indication there's a book around.
Oh, I
It's
see. So this is the book cover. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's graphics from the book cover, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know the best way to do that, but definitely in your headline, it should say something about author. It should talk about the book.
Mm,
Yeah, author of Angel Think, just so people know that that's what's going on there.
yeah.
Mhm. So
Mm.
that's clear.
Right down this hallway, Mr. Kramer, yeah. So to the right of that back door.
Yeah, any other questions, Phil?
No, but I was
Okay.
just going to make a suggestion to anybody that they might find useful,
Yeah.
which is when you do your banner across the top, when you look at how it comes up on your mobile phone, I don't know if you can see that,
Mhm.
the photograph of you is much bigger on your phone.
Mhm.
And I've got to change this because it starts to occlude a lot of stuff that you put in your banner. So
Yeah, that's a nice
just
point.
think-
Look at your profile on mobile and see how it looks. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I know my picture does the same thing. It cuts off more of my
Mm.
cover than I want it to on the mobile.
yeah,
Yeah, that's something to consider. That's why it was nice. I think Minette had a really nice, just very simple
Mm.
cover. It was just a color with her tagline there, and I'm sure that looks better on mobile
yeah.
for that reason. Good to consider. Great. All right. Well, I
Okay, thank you
appreciate
very
you
much.
all. Yeah.
Thanks, Emily.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Yes. Thanks.
And more than happy to contact with anybody, connect with
Yes.
anybody. But,
Yes. Appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. I'll let you know when the next one is.
All right,
All right.
thanks.
Thanks. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.